big g'day and welcome to the Riddle District Football Netball League Round 4 in review. My name's Yeendy, here to look back at last week's big games in the football and netball. Let's take a look at the A-grade netball first, which produced a few massive games with big results. Macedon defeated Lancefield at 40-32 with Lexi Climas, the start of the day for the Cats, getting them over the line with 29 goals. She's in outstanding form and we hope that she continues that right throughout the year. Riddle 49 defeated Wallen 25. The star out of that game was Christine Harris with 35 goals. She's been an outstanding touch and it's great seeing her development, especially with in the past, sort of juggling her Riddle and Gisborne commitments. 35 from 49 ain't bad at all. Rupo 70 defeated Woodin Heskett 29. A great team effort there from Rupo at home in trying conditions. And Woodin Heskett, they just keep plugging away and they're not too far away from a big win. Romsey 40 defeated Diggers Rest 33 with Hope Hamilton, the star, shooting quite a few goals in the win there for Romsey. But it was a really good game that went either way. It was to and fro for most of it before Romsey snuck away with the goods in the end. The last game there, Melton Central's 45 defeated Sunbury Kangaroos 17. A very impressive performance there from the Sunbury Kangaroos, who are riding high after their latest round 3 win over Woodin Heskett. Certainly a big win for the club on the back of not having a team last year. So they pushed the reigning premiers quite well in a very even, tight contest, I would say. And the Centrals, well, they're full of fire. They're ready to go again for another big year. And look, the Sunbury Kangaroos, they can draw many positives away from that game. Looking at the top 6 in A-grade netball, and Riddle, Macedon, Rupo, Lancefield, Melton Centrals and Romsey are the top 6, and they'll certainly take some beating, all 6 sides throughout the year. And it's nice to see Riddle continue on their great form after an impressive performance last year, and hopefully Lancefield, my former hometown, hopefully they can get up there and challenge for the top 2 or 3 as the year progresses. Now let's look at the footy. We did see some big performances right across the round. Team Highlands FM had the pleasure of being at the the RDFNL 2014 Grand Final rematch. Not the replay. What a performance it was there by the Redbacks. Their best performance, probably, I'd almost say, almost better than a lot of the performances from last year, because they entered this game with their backs against the wall. They lost Phil Lobb before the game due to a foot injury, and certainly when you take one of your prime forwards out of your attack, then you've certainly got to ask a lot of questions of where you're going to find those goals, especially against a team like Diggers Rest that are filled with run and they've got match winners on every line. Romsey were up by as much as 44 points in the final term before Diggers Rest sort of climbed a few back late in the game. They're very impressive performance there from Romsey. They kicked 3 goals to 1 in the first term with what was a really strong win going towards the tennis courts end, and it was proven throughout the day in the earlier matches that you can kick goals towards the scoreboard end into the breeze if you work the ball well in numbers, and that's what Romsey did in the second term in particular. They kicked 6 goals to 5, so they were able to outscore the Borough and still take a relatively healthy lead heading into half-time before going away to win the match. Zach Sard was the Highlands FM Hangrock Winery Player of the Day for his outstanding performance, and he was judged best of field there from Romsey as well. Brad Mitchell and Ben Way kicked 3 goals to lead the way for the Redbacks, while for the Boroughs, well, they did have some good tries in there right throughout the day. Luke Smales, he kicked 4 goals. He was outstanding, took marks everywhere around half forward, was unbeatable. The fact they lost Brent Tuckey in the first half was a big blow to them, and who will have to wait and see how the extent of his groin injury transpires over for the rest of the week. Hopefully he can get back onto the field in no time there, but he was sort of well held, unfortunately, in that first half anyway, and didn't have minimal influence until he went down with before he went down with an injury there. Probably Jamison Campbell performed quite well. He was one of the standouts. Jeff Heritage did quite well throughout the day, but the Redbacks just had too much run. Aidan Zazari, he left the boy unmarked, unchecked in the back line there, and he did a lot of damage. He was an outstanding performance. We're looking at Highlands FM radio. We know Matt Bowden did that for Lancefield in the Rockbank game the previous week as well, and executed that to perfection. So we're starting to see a bit more clubs put that loose man in defence, especially when there is a bit of a windy day. Now let's look ahead to Riddle and Melton Central's Riddle and Wallen. That's a pretty good game. Riddle and Melton Central's played not too long ago, and Riddle got the chocolates there. And Riddle got the chocolates here, and was a pretty similar sort of affair. Riddle just a little bit too strong there. They had 3 players kick 4 goals. Stamcombe, Ruffle and Jimmy Nolan all kicked 4 goals, while Sam Rex Heppy kicked 4 goals for the Pies. And we sort of highlighted him in past RDFL shows. He was the one that needed to step up and kick some goals. Well, he did. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get the Pies into contention. Rupo defeated Woody and Heskett by about 4 goals. That was a really grinding, tough contest, and I know the Hawks, given what they've endured over the last few weeks with back-to-back 110-point losses, they'll take a lot of positives out of this game. And they were goalless after half-time, but they certainly tightened the screws against the Sharks and prevented them from getting their trademark run. So I know the Sharks, they'll be happy to take the 4 points and be eager to bounce back with some better form in the coming weeks, while the Hawks, they'll look to build on that for the future. Macedon defeated Lansfield quite convincingly in the end by about 6 goals. Marcus Kenny he finished with about 4, and at the other end as well, John Kent kicked 3 goals. An absolute excitement machine, as we've highlighted in the past. And this was a pretty good game of football in the early stages. The Tigers burst away with the first 3 goals of the game before the Cats came away and worked their trademark run to record a big win. And they are one of the teams to beat in season 2015. Hopefully they continue that form. Broadford defeated Kilmore in a pretty good game. To an extent that I think Broadford would be happy with a 96-point win, but I'm pretty sure Kilmore will be quite satisfied. They didn't play a bad brand of footy at all. I think they kept working hard, but Broadford, they're certainly in a different league this year, and they're really going to step it up and really challenge for the top 6 this year. They showed that on the weekend. Johnny Baker started with 5 goals in a very impressive display. Well, hopefully that gives you a bit of a look at what's happened in the round 4 action of the Riddle District Football Netball League. Stick around later on this week for some more excitement on rdfl.org.au.